So, in this video we're going to look at putting the flash or the viewfinder, whatever you want to call it, on the top of our camera. Again, there's a number of different ways you could actually do this, and I'm going to run through a couple of different alternative ways, and again it's just up to you to have a little practice and try about. One thing that you might want to, one function you might want to use, because it's quite useful to be able to measure these things if you forget when you're drawing, is in the bottom corner here. You can see there's a little tape measure and little scales. Clearly the tape measure is quite a simple one. It's just going to measure. So if you can't remember any measurements or any lengths, if you just hover over an edge and click on it, you'll see. So I now know that that length is 130, and then click off the screen, select another length. I know the width is 45. It just gives you that that information before you start drawing if you're ever unsure. So we're going to start drawing on that top camera. So I'll say we're going to do it in a few different ways. First one would be to just create a rectangle on the top there. So again, I've gone to new sketch. I'm going to select the top plane. Just going to drag that out a little bit and rotate it around. I'm then going to use this corner rectangle. And again, you can see it snaps to that far line. I'm just going to basically drag out a rectangle there. So we don't need to worry about the width of it. All we would then need to do is dimension from this line to this line. So again, just left click on both of them. I've already done the maths for you, so that would be 42.5 there. We can then dimension. So again, I can do it either way. I could click this line and this line to dimension. I could click that point and that point to dimension. It would do exactly the same. That distance wants to be 45mm. And then clearly this distance would, you don't really need to dimension because it's automatic, but I'll show you the other way. So again, I could click there to there. What you'll see, so you know that that's in the middle. What you'll find, if I've over-dimensioned it, this last dimension will actually grey out, so it won't allow me to change it, because basically, obviously, if I put that as a dimension and change that, that will have to change automatically. So that sometimes happens. Again, it doesn't really matter if you over-dimension, it just creates a grey box, but it'll not allow you to change that measurement. If I try and amend that measurement, it won't let me. So again, quite often all you do is just left click it on the extension lines, and then you can click delete and just delete that dimension. And that goes the same for any of your dimensions. If you sort of did things wrong and all that, is just don't click on the number, click on the sort of the extension line, which is this line here, and again just click delete. So I'll just redo that one and stick with that. So we've got our basic rectangle at the top. I'm then going to click on the green tick box. Happy with that. I'm going to extrude that out of the page. So again, select the part you want to extrude. Again, always defaults to 25mm. So we're going to change that. Our height wants to be 20mm. Oh, 20mm high. And then click the tick box. So I've got the basic sort of cube added to the top. Again, a couple of ways I could do this next part. I could draw a diagonal, so draw a sketch and draw a diagonal line from one corner to the other, which I'll run through. It's quite quick. So again, do a new sketch. So select the side plane, go to the line function, and again it wants to be from the very top corner to the very bottom corner. So again, that's all you need to do. You guys can, if you get to this where it's drawing extra lines, you guys can click escape. I can't because it'll stop my screen recording, so I just have to click off there. It does the same thing. Obviously, you don't need to dimension that because it's just going from one corner to the other. Click on that. Again, go to the extrude function. This time I want to remove material, and then I will just select that top triangle. Again, it defaults to 25mm. We actually want it to go all the way across that work. Again, if you can't think about what distance that was, easy way, rather than it being blind, we can just say through all, and it'll remove all of that part. So again, that's why one fairly simple way to do that part. Other way, so I can just delete that. So anything that I've done that I don't want, so you can see if I hover over this, what we call the feature tree, it's basically showing me all the bits that we've drawn. I can right click and just delete that part, go back to the rectangle. Might also want to delete the sketch as well. So I'm back to that rectangle. So another way that I could do that same action is to do a chamfer on the front. Yeah, so you can see I can either round over the edge, which is called a fillet, or chamfer it. So again, all I do to chamfer is select that edge I want to chamfer. Again, you can see it's defaulted to an equal distance, so it's basically coming down 5mm at the front, 5mm at the back. We can change that, so we can click on this little arrow here, click in 2 distances, and then we would put in our distance of 20. Again, it goes right to the bottom, and then our distance of 45 back. And basically that would do the exact same thing as cutting out. Again, sometimes some people prefer to do the sketch work, some people are quite happy to use the chamfer function as well. Like I say, it's entirely up to you, it makes no difference, it gets to the same place. So we've got our basic camera drawn up. We have just got a little lens piece to draw in there, but that's a dead quick one. We'll look at that on the tutorial. Clearly, you know, the piece isn't blue, so you know we've got some examples in the school that we've actually made out of wood for you to help you do with your drawing skills and all that type of thing. So all I'm going to do to change the colour, we go to this little 3 circles appearance panel, double click on that, comes up with our part that we've drawn. You can see this blue colour here, double click on the blue colour, and then we get our colour palette. I tend to just use this one in the top right hand corner, but again you can obviously select any colour you want. Again, we could stick with that just whilst we're here. You might not use it for this one, but again, if I look at this slider, I can actually change it to like a transparent colour, all that type of thing. All depends on what you're sketching with, why you might do that. I'm going to leave it solid because it's a bit easy for the next stage. So we'll just click on the tick box, minimise the appearance panel. Again, some people get annoyed by these work planes. Again, if you don't like them, you can hover over one, right click, and you can either delete one of the work planes or all of them. You can actually get rid of this origin that we started drawing from. So again, if you hover over it, right click, hide, so you're left with a nice clean drawing. So that's the basics. Like I say, we've got a few one part to add in here, and we're going to look at a very simple assembly.